Hi, Meaningful Conversationalist. My name is Lele. Welcome to Meaningful Conversations. What a year 2021 was. For me personally, it was very challenging, but not all the time. And it was also quite, I learned a lot. Through this past year. I feel like I was being pruned, and I feel like a lot about myself was just being exposed, A lot of things were being exposed about myself. I needed to learn so much, and I think one thing about the word is that it is not necessarily a foundation if it's not applied. That scripture that says, it's even a song, don't build your house on a sand and net. That scripture that talks about that basically the person who made a strong foundation, their house was able to withstand storms and tests of all kinds. And the one who built the house on a sandy or a not so firm foundation, when the winds came and the floods, the house doesn't stand a chance, So I think personally for me, I fell into both instances, right? So last year I decided to open myself up to, the possibility of meeting somebody, and I'm proud that I opened myself up to meeting somebody not based on how they look. I know in one of our discussions when we were talking about how we meet people and what appeals to me, and I spoke about it, I did kind of share that I do go for looks to some degree. So this time I just thought, I want to know people, and there's nothing wrong about that. I'm proud of myself because I then got to realize that some of the things that we associate with looks are actually just characters. Like we would say, I want somebody who's got muscles and strong and looks strong, but we want a person whose character is like that, or things such as those. So I got to realize, but no. It's the character of the person, but also how I feel around that person that made me feel like, oh, okay, However, guys, I need Jesus. So this person was not saved. Yeah, well, please don't judge me. So this person was not saved, and then but he was a really cool person. I was, because I have been speaking to him. So he was a really cool person, but I think when it came to principles that are based on the scriptures, it wasn't gelling. And obviously it wasn't gelling, but I think this is where identity crisis comes in. As a child of the Most High, and as somebody who says I subscribe to the principles of the Bible and the truth, somewhere along the line I lost my wires, and I'm coming to be vulnerable with God to show that as I come here on this platform, I'm not perfect, and I'm open for correction. Even with the things that I share, I'm not sharing them from a perspective of I know it all. I'm just sharing from a perspective of I'm a saved sinner, and I'm gonna fall, but I'm gonna pursue the Father. I'm somebody who comes to you as somebody who I'm not saying I'm gonna fall. I have fallen a couple of times, but I've seen the grace of the Father in how literally He will pick me up. You know, the I love the scripture, yeah, Psalm 23, where it says that He will lead you in the path of righteousness for His name's sake. So He's the one who will lead me. And it also says that even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for His rod and staff, they comfort me. You know, and for me, that scripture resonates because especially Psalm 23, because about the shepherd and the sheep. And I know, and my friends know, that I am that sheep. I'm that person who is who can get lost in the moment. I'm that person who requires and needs the guidance of the Most High, you know. And each day that goes by and I'm able to be like, wow, you know, at least I tried there. It's really, it's not something, I'm not one of those people who I won't say I don't struggle from self-righteousness, but it's a very, I'm one of those people who's like, I can't judge because of grace. Anywho, so yeah, I opened myself up to that, and I think I learned a lot. I learned that, man, the flesh is weak. I learned that the Father is the strength of our portion and flesh, literally. I learned that not to walk towards the edge, because I might just get burned. You know, I learned a lot, you know, and I learned that, you know, in anything that you walk into in life, it's important to know who you are and whose you are, you know, and that also speaks to identity. That, you know, this walk is not something, G, that I filter some other parts of my life through. You know, it's something that I should filter every decision, every choice. And it's not easy, you know, because the Bible actually do not lean on your own understanding. It also says, be transformed in how, you know, in your thinking, you know, so that you may be able to test the will of God, how good, perfect, and pleasing it is. Yeah. So I promise that we will break down some of the things that I have highlighted in this in this video, you know, and to just continue to be vulnerable with you about my walk, and as a person who has been divorced, and how I am faring through life and parenting, and it's been real afraid. But with all that, I just want to say I love you guys and I appreciate you. I appreciate your support. I appreciate your comments. I appreciate your sharing, and I appreciate your subscribing, you know. And I hope we will help each other through this journey. With all that, I'd like to say bye and thank you.